later. I can get back to you on that. I believe I didn't write his name. Um, okay. And then June 7th, 1965, Supreme Court reached the decision on married couples' right to privacy that effectively legalized the use of contraception. Okay, a second. All right. And then the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that restaurants in Washington, D.C. Could not refuse to book to Black patrons, invalidating, thank you, separate but equal services as unconstitutional. And then this was 6 years ago, before Rosa Parks wouldn't give up her bus seat. And then in 1942, Anne Frank received her first diary on her 13th birthday. We all know Anne Frank's story. Where are we? I keep losing my spot. Okay, 372 years ago today, Gian Lorenzo in Rome depicts, it's like a fountain, not the Trevi one, but it's this other one. It depicts 4 rivers: the Danube, which is like the river that runs through Germany, the Rio de la Plata, the Nile, which we know also runs through Egypt, riverinity. It's like fluidity between the rivers, I guess. Okay. All right, and I think was that all? Yeah, I thought I had more. Did I skip something? Hold on a second. No, I already, okay. No, I didn't. All right, but welcome everybody. This is No Blues News. I am Miss Tawny. We share positive news and entertainment stories shared and discussed with guests. If I can go ahead and have my guests go ahead and request the box. I have some questions for you. We have our guests tonight are Sunny, Good Listener, and Emerald Empress.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hiya. Hey. How I got through all that so fast. Okay. All right. My questions in relation to the history stories. Okay. If you could travel to an island paradise, where would you go and why?
Am I supposed to start since I'm in the first box?
Anybody can, yeah.
I was counting to 30, so I wouldn't be in the top box, and I still ended up in the top box. I don't know if it's an island or what, but right now, my goal is to have enough discretionary funds to go and have a week or two in Turks and Caicos. That's where I want to go. Why I want to go there? It is an island. It's offbeat. It's not vastly populated. They only allow a certain amount of people there. And it's Black owned. Hate to say it, but it's and it's Black owned. Everything that I've seen of it is ridiculously luxurious. As that's just one of those places I want. I don't want to go where everybody else wants to go. I want to be in Turks and Caicos for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what? It just came out of my head when I was thinking of one place, and I was thinking of Bora Bora. Mm-hmm. And because lots of people talk about it, they do the honeymoons there. Mm-hmm. People saying Bora Bora is the place to visit. I haven't been to Bora Bora, and I would love to go there. Yeah. One day, I've done the Bahamas. I've done many islands around the Bahamas, and I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it. But the place that I would go to is Bora Bora.
I'll come hang out with you if I leave Turks, okay?
I'm going a different way, and I'm not too sure if this is an island or not, but it has a land in it, and it's Ireland. For ever since I was little, something has always wanted me to go to Ireland. I did. Growing up, there's people who want to go to Hawaii. There's everywhere, Jamaica. Something's drawing me to Ireland. I've watched movies, I've watched documentaries, and I want to go. I want to go walking in where all the greenery is. I want to go where the stone walls are. I want to go. I want to go explore. So that is where I would love to go. I'd love to go to all the islands too, but for some reason, Ireland it's speaking to me. It calls me.
Check your DNA. It might be, you may find out that that's where your heritage is. I found out that I'm 18% Irish. I found out last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Find it might have something to do with that.
I gotta check that out for sure.
Really pretty. No, William, this is a show. We don't have anybody besides the guests in the box at this time. My apologies. But you can come back another time and join the date box. My place would be, and I want to do the research, the Maldives. It looks like really, I know it's like near Asia actually, so it's not one of the places everyone's as familiar with, like the Caribbean, but it looks really pretty there. I'd really like to go there at some point. Okay. All right, and if you had a chance to travel and see a work of art, there's certain locations where there's, the art at, would you travel to one of those locations and why?
I would travel to each and every one of them because I've always loved art, loved museums, but I raised an artist. So I actually have a daughter who went to the biggest, best art school in the country. So it was just like going through, watching her from 2 years old, writing on the walls and coloring on the walls, to see her develop into anime, 3D, using watercolor, acrylics and all that. And just to see the layering processes that go on when there's an art piece being done, because we may see something and wonder why it costs $300. I used to be like that until I got the artist, and it was like, that should have taken maybe $75. But when you see that these bases they put on, and then this layer has to be like that, and then they have to shade that out and put these and that. So now I just have an appreciation for art, period. So I would go to any and every place that had art available for me to see.
Great.
And can I go, good listener? Or?
Yeah, you go.
So I grew up in Canada and in Ontario, and we have a gigantic art museum called the Ontario Art Museum. It's the AGO. And I grew up there, and going there as a kid, I loved it. I appreciated it. It's one of the ones that if people go to Toronto, they'll go to that one. So they always have like great exhibits, and they fly in things from from Paris and from Egypt, and they fly all those. So I would love to go to those places as well to actually see it from those places. And that's where I'd like to go. I think Egypt and Paris would be the places I'd like to go see the artwork and stuff. Yes.
We're ready to travel, ladies.
See, the British Museum has lots of art from around the world. And there's certain artists that you see that I love oil painting. I absolutely love it. But there's another side to me where who I am is a modern person. And I love Wilfred, Fred Wilfred. I've actually got some of his work, like just there. That's Wilfred's. Then I've got another two, and that is original Wilfred's work, and he's still alive, yeah, but his work, when he started off, he was from nobody, and how he got up, because he was from the Asia background, and slowly he went bankrupt. Then he went back up again, and now his works estimate like you could get one painting, they will go about 10,000, 20,000, and it's still climbing up. So I'm interested in more modern art and new artists that are out. There's lots of galleries that you could go to in London, but sometimes it's nice to support someone that's new. They're coming up with the modern work. They're coming up with the culture with you around you. I like to see culture in my home. The old is nice, but the old stays the past. It's history. So history, I keep it behind, and I go for the modern way of having culture in my house. And I think that's much more open and keeps a friendly atmosphere around my friends.
I won't put any art up in my house unless it's from my daughter or my granddaughter.
I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to your house.
These are from my daughter. I only put artwork up from my daughter and my granddaughter.
I love that.
Because it's just, you know what they went through, the feel of the new artist, like you say. And it's like sometimes when she has a new piece, and because I've seen it already, because she has me critique, and I try not to buy. I had to try to stop buying. I had to stop buying her new pieces because other people, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a week. If it don't sell, it's mine. You know, that kind of. But people said what you were a point of you were making. I want to get your art now, because in 40 years it's gonna be worth $1 million.
Yeah,
exactly. So I understand that.
We can look at the old works, and there's no way that we could get them. They're closed and they're sealed, and we could just go and view them. But there's always something behind it and sinister. Well, when I look at the modern one, I see what's happening now. They're bringing in that mix of everything, the fusion there. And I think when someone paints something, like I know Hobbitus, my admin, she does art. And when she paints something, it's coming from the modern look, now era. And I love that more. I enjoy that more because I think it brings peace to my home.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I have my grandfather's paintings up in my home because he's a beautiful artist, and so I have my family's artwork up in my home.
It's a wonderful feeling to walk through and see, like, if that one, I don't know if you, that one right there, that was their center point when I did my very first stream, and I will not move it because I you know how you put your summer clothes up, bring your winter stuff out. I changed my paintings around, and I'm about to switch my streaming room, and I was like, am I gonna take the picture out of my living room? That is actually keeping me from going into my office to stream because I don't want to move that picture.
Because it's home to you. Certain pictures make it home, and especially if you're raised with a certain picture or image that you were like few paintings that my mom's had around the house. I remember having the bottle or having the blanket, waving the blanket. I still got a habit. Like it's a comforter, so I'll have the blanket and I'll be like this. I still do it till this day. So even though when I'm streaming, the blanket comes with me.
Y'all catch me doing this because I used to rub my baby's ears. I used to rub their ears to put them to sleep. I still do that.
My dad caught me when I went to go to sleep is to move my ankle, and he caught me, and I still do it as an adult, but I used to do it as a kid. Yeah.
It's that comfort,
it's comfort.
You know, it just surrounds you, and it's just she asked for some of the pieces back. I probably have about 40 pieces of hers that I won't give back.
Send them to here. You can send them here.
I won't give them back.
All right, you guys, welcome to No Blues News. I am Miss Tawny. This is positive news and entertainment stories shared every week, discussed with guests. We have Sunny, we have Good Listener, and Emerald as our guests. Where I would like to go, I forget in Italy where it is, but the Sistine Chapel, I think it's in Rome, but don't quote me because I don't want to say the wrong place. But yeah, I would love to go see that. And I'm supposed to be going to Rome in November, so if it is in Rome, I'll see it then.
We're doing some traveling in the next year, y'all.
I've never been outside of the United States yet, so I'm excited. And Italy's always been that like bucket list place to go, so. Okay, and as far as the story in relation to the Supreme Court, what do we think the Supreme Court needs to work towards? I think there's definitely we know that, like, the gun, like mental health, like the gun stuff, it's out of control, it's not dealt with, and I really wish that they would kind of get a handle on all of that, so we'd have a better quality of life if everything like that was handled, because those of us in the United States, we know that they don't like focus on taking care of that.
So your question is, what would we want how would we want the Supreme Court to change, or?
Yeah, what they need to work on that they're currently not working on, or if they are working on it, then we're not aware of it yet. So,
Look, mine is not going to be a whole lot. I just am a firm believer that rules, regulations, processes, those are things that should start at the top. So with the Supreme Court being the highest court, they need to get their stuff together, period. I do think there needs to be more justices. And my son said he's going to be a justice. So when it's that time, we'll see. But
I think we need to definitely work on the justice side, on people that are wrongfully in. And there's a lot of people that were at a certain time of that era that were in jail there because of the color they are, for the culture they were. And now modern technology is showing them, proving them. There's a lot of cases that are coming out. Lots of people are coming away from them. But what's going on? It's still a slow system.
It's so slow. That's why I said it needs more.
It's so slow. So the people that are wrongfully accused that are there, and they were, because power and money took those people there. And they've got the facilities, they've got the evidence, they've got the science behind it now. But why is it taking so long, those processes, is because they're taking a long time to process them. But they don't want to do the payout system. But if someone's wrongfully in there, please get them out.
I agree with good listener.
I would want them to work on.
I agree with good listener there, but also times have changed so much from even 30 or 40 years ago that laws have changed. So people that are in prison right now for something that might have been against the law then isn't against the law now, so they shouldn't be in jail. Like if they did something that someone thought was wrong, like selling a whole bunch of weed, which in Canada where I'm at is totally legal now. Like you can't get in trouble, like you can, but it's a gray area. Like it's legal now. So the people who are in jail for doing that should be not in jail anymore, or a couple other things, but like weed is one of the main things.
The law should go all around.
It should go all around. It should, as we grow, the law should grow. So everything changes, but the law doesn't change with the modern society.
There's a law in England that needs to be changed. Now, say you're driving and someone ran across the road and there was evidence to prove that you could there's footage and all of that, and that person just ran in the middle of the road and that person passed away. They're still doing a law which is from back in the day. You have to still put down dangerous driving. It's not dangerous driving if the man decided to run across there at a certain amount where the cars are going. So certain laws, they really need to go through them and just modernize them.
I mean,
just want to add one more
really
thing.
Crazy ones, like you can't eat a pickle out of a jar, or you can't sit this way. It's still some laws on the books about you can only do certain intimate positions. There's still things like that on the book.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
And what I wanted to contribute
Said, what?
is that
Like
so
what?
in Canada, if you're a felon in the States, you can't come to the States, even if you were a felon 50, 60 years ago, and you can't come to the States, even if it was something that you did when you were 16 or 17 years old. Even, I don't condone it, But even if it was like a drinking while driving charge, that is considered a felony in some places. But now that means you can't come to Canada. That means you can never ever come to Canada. So I think maybe that needs to be revisited a little bit. I'm not saying drinking and driving is not a bad thing. It's a horrible thing.
We get
But
it.
but is it really a felony where you can't come to Canada and come visit a whole other country?
Right. You
Like,
did it when you were 20. You got that charge when you were 20. Now you're 50 and you
now
still
you're
can't.
50.
Happen abroad, we
Yeah,
can't come
it's
to you.
statute of limitations. So
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
Supreme Court hears oral arguments in cases from October through April. That's part of the problem. I thought it was 6 months, but I looked it up to make sure from October through April is all the time that they see cases. So they'll forever be behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And the next question, have you witnessed racism and how do you handle it? I live in a small town in Texas. I was born and raised in San Diego, California. I didn't experience that growing up in California. I'm very grateful for that. It was you're raised very like open-minded and non-judgmental growing up in California. But when I lived in the big towns in Texas, it was fine. But anytime I lived in a smaller town, you see it, and it's sad that they act like it's no big deal. I wish it didn't happen. I kind of like when people approach me with it and like the way they talk, I'm kind of like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you treating somebody like that? Like, they didn't do anything to you. And it's 2023. Like, it shouldn't even be an issue anymore. So,
but it is.
It is. You could tell from the app. Sometimes you could be streaming and someone just doesn't like the color of you, and they will say it. They will open their mouth and they will say it, and you're just like. So it's still around. There's no denying it's not around. It is around because people do it, and I do think the way that I've overcome with it is that some people are just beyond help. That's it, and that's how I think, and I can move away from it. You can't actually explain someone to like you. You can't make someone love you. It's something that they've been through or something that's happened in their life, and or they've been nurtured in that way. So
Definitely.
but you could just, the way I do it, I'll just put it in one ear and take it out there, because it's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect me in any sort of way, because I'm going to be who I am, and I'm proud to be who I am.
Right. And I just want to say how like it has affected me. I live in Toronto. I live in a very multicultural, diverse city that is supposed to love everyone. But I dated a African American male. He's my ex now, but I dated him about 5 or 6 years ago, and he came to my house once, and he was 3 hours late. And the reason he was 3 hours late is because he got stopped. He was walking. He got stopped on the street because they thought he had something in his pants. And he lived only 20 minutes away from me. He had to explain that he was going to his girlfriend's house and that he didn't have anything on him, and he didn't have his ID on him either. So it made it even worse, you know? So like, if you don't have that on you, then you're automatically like a bad person. You're a criminal. Like, so as much as judging a book by its cover and racism shouldn't exist, it shouldn't at all. It does. Like, I'm in a very multicultural city where you don't think that would happen at all. We have Caravana, we have Gay Pride, we have everything in my city. You wouldn't think that still happens. It does. You walk down the street and it's happening everywhere you go.
But sometimes it's not even. It could be someone from the same culture as you.
Yes, 100%.
I've had that happen to me, and I've actually posted
Yes.
that. I posted that on my IG. I went to shopping, like opened my car door. The person said, because they saw me, they said, you shouldn't be dressed like this. You are born, even though you're born here, you shouldn't be dressed. You belong to this culture. And it all recorded, and they said they were speaking, and they said they kept on mentioning my color while my dash cam was recording them. Yeah, while the police officer could hear them.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted it on my IG, what I went through. And sometimes racism is not from a, a person from Caucasian background or another it could be from from the same background that you're from. Because they're just some people just expect you to be someone that they want you to be.
And a cookie cutter. I actually did one of my shows on prejudice among prejudice within your own race.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced it from both sides, So I have, I've been called names that are from people in my sector. I get racism and prejudices from African American, Black, whatever name we go by, and I mean no insult to that. We're just American people. That's how I was raised. We're not African American. We're not Black. We're not color. We're American people. That's what my mom instilled in us. But I've had it to the point where I'm told I'm not Black enough, and told me why I'm not. I've been told, but then there are certain people that are in the African American community, and if you're not from this area, then you're on a lower level of being Black. And then I've had it from the non of color. So for me, it depends on where I am with myself at the time, how I handle something. So with me raising children and raising mixed children and having nieces and nephews and younger brothers and things like that, I've gotten it from so many different ways. Because I was born and raised in Chicago. It's a melting pot. It's a melting pot. But racism was strong. It was strong. But it depends on what mood I'm in. If sometimes if I'm in that state and I know that's a weakened state, anger will come out. And that's because I've had one. I was having I was having a really bad day. I was having a really bad day in the marriage, and I cook to reset myself, to soothe myself. I cook, and I was making everything chocolate, cookies, cake, ice cream, and I needed to go to the store because I had used up so much cocoa and stuff. I need to go to the store and re-up, right? I pull into a parking spot, and then next thing you know, I got the N-word thrown at me. And I was like, not today, Jesus, not today, But when I'm walking in the store, said something else. Yeah. So I flipped the script, and I just like, were you talking to me? Mm-hmm. And I was like, because I did hear you say this word, but I heard you say Black, this, and that. I said, your shoes are black. Does my face look black? I'm not Black. And I said, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. And this is why the newer generation has this hate and bigotry, is because people like you are teaching them. Mm-hmm. The entire grocery store stopped. Nobody was checking anybody out. Everything stopped and everybody was looking. I was mad at first, but then it clicked. This is just stupidity. This is fear. This is trained and taught behavior, and it's switched. So it just depends. I have to be a lot more different with it right now because my grandchildren have Caucasian father. Mm-hmm. So it's really bad because, I have to be a little more mindful of how to handle things as far as teaching them, because they're like good listeners complexion. Mm-hmm. But they know their mom is my complexion.
Even when I'm speaking, they go, you're not from here. Why are you speaking like this? Oh, this is how I speak. What do you want me to do? Because there's
stupidity that you think will be gone, and it's not.
And they expect me to talk like the person in the corner shop, and I'm going, I can't do that. I could try.
Yeah.
So make you happy, but I don't know.
So going off just a little bit, like when I was born, my mom asked my dad, why does my baby girl have Asian eyes? Why does she have Chinese eyes? They're not Chinese, they're native, or there's something in my background. But my mom didn't even know, like looking at me, she's like, why does my girl have Chinese eyes? Like, So and then when I said that, my sister, I have a twin sister as well, and when I said that as an antidote, saying it at a restaurant one day, my sister's very political and very like, you can't. She started an argument with saying, because this is what my mom said. She's like, you can't say that now. This is 20 years later. She's like, you can't. I'm like, that's what that's what mom said when we were born. How are you getting mad at me? So like,
Yeah.
even her, like, and that's my sister who is Caucasian, who is my twin and everything. She's getting upset at something that my mom said when I was born 20 years ago. So like, it all depends on how you say things and how you
Right.
perceive things as
Exactly.
well. Because
Exactly.
my sister could perceive that as a racist comment
Right.
towards me, but my mom
Mhm.
thought it was a cute comment because
Mhm.
I had Chinese looking eyes, you know.
I
But
had to stop
someone,
because my children have the almond. The almond
yes,
shape is that my children are mixed with Pacific Islander.
yeah,
They're mixed with
okay,
Filipino. So they all, whether their eyes are little or wide, they all have that almond. And
yes,
and I had to stop saying slanted eye. Yeah,
yes.
because I was getting
Right,
in
yeah.
trouble.
And I should probably not say Chinese because that's insensitive as well. But that's what my mother said when I was first born, so that's why I say it. And then, but now, 34 years later, it's now insensitive to say that antidote, you know. And that was what my mom said when I was little.
Yep,
So
yep.
A quick shout out to the Stream King or Stream King. We'll get a flyer later in the week. And thank you to Nemo, Andrew, Kitty. And this is No Blues News. I'm Miss Tawny. We have Sunny, Good Listener, and Emerald as our guests. Okay. Okay. Have you ever been to a drive-in? And do you remember a movie you saw? I I could only think of one when I came up with this question. It's been so long because they really don't have drive-ins anymore,
It's been a
unfortunately.
long
But
time.
yeah, I think they were a really cool concept, and I wish they were still around.
Yeah.
But there was a movie called Cop and a Half where it was like Burt Reynolds and this kid. He was like a cop, and the kid like went along on like a stakeout with him or something. But other than that, I don't remember. I just remember that the in California the drive-ins they had also doubled as like swap meets on the weekend.
Right.
They wouldn't have movies during the weekend, and they double as swap meets on the weekend. So.
Mhm.
I only ever went to one, and it was about maybe 5 years ago. We still have them in Canada, but they're outside of the big city, so they would be outside in the country-ish parts, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour outside of the city. I remember it was Oceans. It was before the Ladies Ocean, so it was Oceans 12 or 11. And we ended up seeing that one, and it also, and there was 3 movies, so you got to see 3 movies for the
Yeah.
price of one. I don't remember all the movies because I'm a person who falls asleep halfway through one movie, let alone 3 movies. So I saw some of the oceans, and then I woke up and it was a different movie, and then I woke up and it was a different movie. But you could go outside and go to the concession stand and come in, and that was the only experience I ever had. And yes, sleep, bugaboo. Yes, sleep.
The good thing about that is you can bring your own food
Yes,
too. If you have
as
family,
well.
they need
Yes.
to come back because you can bring your food, be an outing for your children, for your whole family for that $40, kind of thing.
Oh,
But where I
wow.
grew up, we had like 2 on
I'm
every
missing
side. You
out.
had north,
I'm
south,
missing
east,
out
west
here.
side of
Love
Chicago, and
this
it was like
now.
2 on each one. But the last one I saw, and don't judge me, and yes, I'm old, was a Batman movie.
Okay.
I've not
I said, don't
experienced
judge me. It was
driving.
a Batman movie.
But you know what I remember my experience though, because I never been to one before. I'm like, how do you hear the movie? And then my friend's like, oh,
Oh, the
you
little
change
speaker
it to
box.
the no, you
Oh,
change
you're
it
on your
to
radio
a
now.
radio frequency.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on your radio frequency. So you had to change it to a specific radio frequency.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I'm like, oh,
I'm
okay.
missing
I would have
out.
never known that, but it actually says, oh, on the screen.
It does.
If you don't know yet, you turn it to here, and then you turn up
So
your
it shows
volume.
how old I am
Yeah.
from when they first started with the speaker boxes that
I
you
was,
put
yes,
inside the window
we
until it
had
got
those
to your
too,
car
but
radio.
yeah.
All right, and one of the stories was talking about when the Chicago Tribune started. I remember as a kid reading the newspaper, and I always wanted the comics. And for some reason, as a kid, I was oddly fascinated by real estate. So I'd always look at the houses that were for sale, even though I was a kid and I wasn't going to go buy one. But always found it interesting. I thought I wanted to get into real estate, but I realized how competitive it was and kind of took another avenue. But did any of you guys used to read the newspaper, or do you still? And what was your favorite part of reading the newspaper?
So my dad, every time we'd go to a restaurant, he would take out the Toronto Sun and get it. It was a daily paper, and he would get it and he would read the horoscopes. It doesn't matter who was at the table. He was reading our horoscopes at the table. He would go to the horoscopes first, then he would read through the stories quickly. None of the ones that were like too horrible or anything. You just quickly read it through, and then we would read all the comics together. But it was something that my dad, it doesn't matter what restaurant we went to, the first thing he did when he opened the door was look for that Toronto Sun to have that newspaper so he could read it. That was the first thing he did. So yeah, the newspaper was something that I always grew up with, and every year I get one for my birthday. I get a newspaper. I get the clip for my horoscope every year from the same newspaper, because that was what my dad did.
Lisa, I forgot all about Dear Abby.
Dear Abby. My dad would read Dear Abby. Yes.
My dad got the newspaper every day. He had it delivered every day. One of my first jobs was delivering newspapers.
That sounds like agony aunt, that you read all of the problems that people put in, and some of them are very funny, and some of them are in certain nature, and you go so. But we've got different newspapers in England to what you have there. But yeah, that sounds like agony aunt. That's the bit that I used to look at, and the horoscopes.
Is today the anniversary for Chicago Tribune?
We would
It
have
was
a word
in the past week. So it was I think 70 years ago today. So Daily Mail and Daily Star.
It was the Chicago Tribune and Chicago Sun-Times and the Defender. Those were the papers in Chicago.
And I'm in Canada, so I don't have those ones. So I just went with what I have.
Words and the word search.
Yeah, the puzzles and the horoscope.
Yeah, the comics on Sunday is what I would always go through. The comics is what I would read. Like
Dennis the Menace.
Garfield, Dennis the Menace.
Garfield, yes. And Dagwood with the Dagwood sandwiches.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and leave everybody in the box to go into the rest of the topics. The second story, highlight topics, was about Tetris, the first internet connection, World Ocean Day in Graceland, famous birthdays and inventions. Okay. And past movie premieres. Okay. In 1934, Donald Duck premiered in his first cartoon. It was called The Wise Kitchen. And no, I can't imitate Donald Duck. I know there is a streamer, my friend, who can very, very well. Kitty knows already who that is. You want to see? Ask Donnie. He can kill it. 1984, the video game Tetris was released. We've all played Tetris on our phones, you know. And I can say, as simple as that game is, I've never beat it. But
64?
Yeah, 1984. Yeah,
84.
1984. And then 17 years ago, on June 6th, the NBA was created with 11 teams, and it started in New York. Yeah. And then June 9th, 50 years ago today, Secretariat, horse racing, his rider, Ron Turcotte, they won the Triple Crown and the Belmont Stakes. And then the first World Ocean Day was celebrated. That was in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Ives McGaffey of Chicago patented the first vacuum cleaner, calling it the sweeping machine. And then June 8th, 1869, that was the date of that. And then June 10th, Benjamin Franklin invented the circulating stove. June 8th of 1964, the washing machine was patented by Noah in Quebec. And then June 7th, 1983, Graceland opened to the public. It's near Memphis. It was 5 years after Elvis died. The mansion has 14 acres. and it is the second most visited house in the United States. June 7th, 1952, we have actor Liam Neeson, was born in Northern Ireland. And then June 11th, 37 years ago today, Ferris Bueller's Day Off hit the big screen. And 101 years ago today, Judy Garland was born. And then on June 11th, E.T. premiered to universal acclaim back in 1982. And then 30 years ago today, I didn't realize it'd been this long since this came out. Jurassic Park was released nationwide, grossing $912 worldwide in its first run. It featured never before seen use of animatronics and computer generated images to create lifelike dinosaurs that captivated a generation. And June 10th, oh, no, I mentioned that already. Okay, 156 years ago today, Frank Lloyd, the genius of American architecture, was born in Wisconsin. And then the first internet connection was created when network control packets were sent from a mini computer. What the heck was it called? Called IMP. Okay. And then so my follow-up questions are, okay, do you guys remember AOL, the old school dial-up, and us going and talking to in chat rooms to shady, we don't know who we were talking to back then. I remember being 12 or 13, and they said they were a 14-year-old in Australia, but it could have been some fat trucker hiding, in a truck stop, and in like Montana for all we know. And yeah, I did, I used AOL back in the day, and then I think we probably all played Tetris at some point.
That's
but
my
did you guys play Tetris, and were you good at it? I was not good at it. I never won.
Tetris is my hands down favorite, and the only video game I will play is Tetris.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Just Tetris. That's the only thing I play. And it makes sense because you said it came out in 1984.
Yeah.
That was the year I graduated high school, so that makes sure that makes sense why I'm hooked on that game. It came out that year of a milestone for me.
I played Tetris, but I can only play for maybe about 10 minutes before I get way too frustrated with it, and then I'm like, no, I'm done, or I'm way at the top, and it's like I'm gonna lose anyways. There's no way of getting out of it. But with AOL, I did more MSN, which was kind of the same thing. I remember high school, we weren't actually supposed to use it, and all of us during middle school and high school, we all had a window up for MSN, and we're all typing to each other in school. It was like the new version of Notes. We were all typing to each other. Yeah, right.
Disc you put in.
Yeah, in the floppy disks into the.
I remember the floppy disk, but
right?
I don't remember that.
MSN or AOL, it's an instant messenger. So you would instant message someone, and it started right away. It was when like Yahoo.
Well, I remember having the internet at home, and soon as it's dialing and you got to that point and someone picks up the phone.
Yeah.
And you're just like, everything goes.
If somebody pick up the phone, you lose connection.
That's all I remember about it. And that was the most annoying part. And I never went back on it because I could not go on it. So someone will call my mom up or my grandma up. While I'm switch it on, it's taken forever for it to load up and all that.
You hear that annoying noise, like.
Yeah. I was doing a term paper. I was working full time. I was in school full time, had 4 kids, and I went back to college, and I was doing a report, finished off like in my last couple of pages that I had to do because I had to transmit it that night on AOL, right? Yeah. How about my daughter's cat came into my area and unplugged it? I said, your cat is about to lose one of his lives. I hope it's got 8 left. I had to start that paper all over because the cat unplugged the computer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or it wouldn't save. Yeah.
But you know what was funny was my kids pulled back on me what I told them. Yeah. Why you wait till the last minute, Mom? You should have finished that a couple of days ago, Mom.
right, you guys, welcome to No Blues News. I am Miss Tawny. We discuss positive news and entertainment topics. Good listener, Emerald and Sunny as our guests. Shout outs to Andrew, Nemo, and Kitty. They all stream. We love them, favorite them.
We do.
All right. Has anybody been to Graceland, and would you go there? Ironic thing, I lived in Tennessee because my kid's father was military, and we thought about going there because Memphis is only like 3 hours from where we lived.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought about wanting to go see it, but it would have been more for him because I was never really a huge Elvis fan, so it's like it wasn't a big draw for me. But if you are, it'd be a good thing.
I haven't been, and I'm not interested in going.
Yeah, not for me. My best friend and her family would die to go, but my family was not really into Elvis, so I wasn't. It was more classic rock for me, so I wasn't so much into Elvis. So
I don't mind Elvis. I don't mind his songs. But me going there, it's not a thing on my bucket list.
Exactly.
the only thing I really know about Graceland is that Uncle Jesse from Full House really wanted to go. That's all I remember.
I might
You
go
a 90s baby.
There's more
1989, yeah.
And do the Elvis wedding than going to Graceland. There's more chance of that happening.
I liked him. He was cute. He could dance. He could sing. But as far as wasting my gas money to drive those 4 hours, no.
I'm not going over to the border for that one. No.
I need more than that. All right. And if you ever had an idea for an invention that you didn't create yet?
Yes.
I did not, but they actually in California, they do this thing where they call the Invention Convention. And it's an opportunity where companies and with sixth graders, you have the opportunity to come up with an invention and the chance to get it patented. And there was a couple kids that they pick a kid each year that they patent the invention if they find somebody who they want to patent the invention. And I always thought that was really cool for a sixth grader to get the opportunity to have that opportunity like that and to contribute to something like that. But I don't know if they still do that to this day. I would have to ask my brother because it's been 100 million years since I've been in sixth grade. So.
That's a good thing. I do have an invention. I'm not even going to say what it is, and I haven't seen it come out yet, and I've been going back and forth with it in my head for about 6 years. So that tells me I need to hurry up and do it before somebody. Y'all remember when Pepsi came out with the Pepsi Lemon, where they had the lemon in the Pepsi? For about a year or so, because my godfather, my dad's best friend, worked for Pepsi. So we always had Pepsi, Hawaiian Punch, root beer, A&W root beer, and stuff like that. And I used to put lemon in the Pepsi all the time. And my sister used to say, girl, you need to write that in. You need to, whatever, just let me put my lemon in. And sure enough, they came out with the Pepsi Lemon. I was like, did I just miss out on $20 million or what? Did I?
I think there's a certain things that we do at home, not even knowing that it's an invention.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
And that someone wants that. There's certain things that are foods that I've had, and I went, how comes they haven't got this available? Why do I have to do all of this? And I'm not going to say which ones are there, in case I want to put it out there. That's like one of my secrets. But that it is one of those things that you think about it and you go, hang on, I've just created this. There's nothing like this here. And this is just a handy device. And it's mainly for us to make life a lot easier for us.
Right. That's what mine is.
Yeah. We know that we need this. So sometimes we'll use a hair clip for this and that tie and this tie. And it works. And you think, how comes they haven't come up with this idea?
Exactly. What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, and I do not have an invention, but I was like Sunny. There's a couple things I thought of like 2 years before they actually came out, and I'm like, I should have said something.
Should have said something.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. This is No Blues News. I am your host, Miss Tawny. We discuss positive news and entertainment topics. Guests every week. We have Sunny, we have Good Listener, and we have Emerald. This week, shout out to Andrew, Nemo, and Kitty. Are you guys a fan of Judy Garland or Liam Neeson? And if you are, which movies did you see by both of them that you liked? I am a huge fan of the Taken movies.
Yes.
I obviously, you know, and it was like it kind of actually made you like aware of, unfortunately, something like that happened in that movie can happen. But now my daughter tells me anytime we travel to Vegas, she's like, I'm gonna get what do you call it? She's like, I'm gonna get human trafficked in Vegas. I'm like, no, you're not. Just, you know, like,
But it
no,
did bring an awareness, like you said.
yeah, but like she wouldn't go anywhere alone last time we were in Vegas. But I know it is a problem there, so I know that I kind of was like, I didn't want her, even at her being 21. I'm like, yeah, well, you're kind of in that age that maybe you should just, you know, yeah, kind of wander around our hotel, but not really like go run loose on the strip. So
I'm not too sure if I'm mixing up the name or not, but didn't Liam Neeson do the Naked Gun movies? Because I think he did those ones, and if he did those ones, like,
No, that's
no,
not him.
that's not him.
Mm-mm.
no, that's
Then,
somebody different.
there we go. See, I mix up words
Yeah,
and
I'm just
everything all of the
confused now.
time. Yeah, names I'm horrible with, so
Movies
I don't
are
really have
that
anything to say about this one.
Liam
Yeah,
Neeson was
I'm
also
I'm not talking about this one.
he was
Right.
also the voice of Aslan in the Narnia movies, and he was in Star Wars, and he was the voice of some characters in the Lego movie. So
None
if
of the
you like,
fandoms I'm
research his
really into.
IMDb, he's in a lot of stuff. Like, yeah, but
He's a super sexy older guy to me. He's always been a super sexy older guy to me.
yeah.
His voice, and I have a particular set of skills. Oh, that does something for me every time he says that. I have a particular set of skills. What you do, Liam? What you do? But the
Okay.
Taken movies are good.
All right. And has anybody seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, E.T., or Jurassic Park? I think we've seen all of them, probably. Yeah.
I grew up watching all of them. Again, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think I watched like 100 times with my dad. It was one of the ones that he loved. He sang like Twist and Shout and everything. So the first, right? The first Jurassic Park. I also watched with him, but E.T. was with me and my twin sister, and we watched that, and we would always go E.T. phone home, and we would like make the fingers and the voices and all that, and yeah, I loved all of those movies. That's my childhood right there, all three of them. Like,
Yeah, I had the Speak and Spell, the actual device Speak and Spell. So I thought, you know, one day if I break it, I can make that device with the umbrella, and the ET will come to me. ET will come to my home.
My oldest son cried on the E.T. movie.
Oh, wow.
Every time he watched it, all the way up to like 9 years old, he would cry when he wanted to go home really bad. E.T., go home. My son would just cry.
You know the pizza bit with in the den, and he brings the pizza back. That bit was so scary for me.
Yeah.
I had to forward that bit.
We used to wonder why we used to pick at him so much. They still pick at him. He's 37 this year. They still pick at him about crying on E.T. He was a sensitive little boy.
And this is a good question I have for everybody, because I know everybody, you know, even if you're somebody who doesn't miss work, we've all had this thought at some point. Okay, if you could have a fake day to call out at work, you know, when you're not actually sick, what would you do and why?
You don't want to hear my answer.
I also believe in karma. So I believe if I say something that it might actually happen. So I try not to call out of things and do things, because if it actually happens, then I'd be very upset. So like, I don't want to say anything that like people say the emergency happens or someone broke this or something. I don't actually want to say that into the universe. So if I'm not sick, I'll go into work. But yeah, I don't really like to bring out anything in there. I believe in you, what you bring
Karma.
out is what you're gonna receive. Yeah. So
My bestie did that, and she told a story about why she wasn't gonna make it to a job, and then the next day her car broke down. So she said she had to stop doing it because something happened.
I'm kind of with Kitty. I just say I won't be in today. I don't make an excuse if I'm not feeling good.
I work for myself, so it's hard for me to say to answer that one. But if I did do that, I was either hanging out with my partner because we needed to catch up, and we needed a day or two to catch up, or I was spending time with the kids, and just gonna do one of those days. But I have done it, but I haven't had to do a call out day. I just say I ain't doing nothing today.
Right
now, I just say I'm not doing nothing.
I think it's the excuses that I hear from people. I've worked too hard this week and I'm not coming in, and so it's not me giving the excuses, but it's people giving me the excuses. Some of the things that I've heard, I don't want to even talk about it. I think I will get banned. I will get banned.
That's why I cut mine short. Good
I will literally get banned. I don't want to even have that conversation with the person. So what did you do last night? And you've got this. I don't want to know this. Just say it's a medical problem.
Yeah, I don't do it much. I
Agreed.
am someone who really tries not to miss work.
See, I've
there's
always
a couple times I've gone and had a girls' day, or I've it's when I've needed to catch up on sleep, and I've actually took a big chunk to sleep for the day, but I don't really get sick much, thankfully, so I try not to miss work.
The excuse that infuriates me, because I have people that work for me in one of my businesses, right? And this one tech wanted this job so bad. I said, okay, I'm gonna get it for you for this pay, this per diem, all this. Oh, I'm so glad for it. I want it. For 2 weeks ahead of time, right? And then the next thing I know, I'm getting buzzed from the buyer. The person didn't show up. So now I had to stop. I think I was actually streaming. I had to stop and go and do this because that was going to be a bad reflection on me if the job didn't get done. And then when I called, I was like, why didn't you say something? Oh, I didn't feel like going. What? You didn't what?
And you gave them the position, and there were so many people in line, and you thought of them and you put them forward, but they're not going to respect that.
And they was paying like $600 for 4 hours. You didn't what?
It cost you more.
Yeah.
You didn't what?
Right? Yeah, I used to do schedules.
People come in late. They can't get to work. They need a taxi, so I had to call a taxi up because they couldn't get a taxi.
But you knew you had to call a taxi. Call it ahead of time,
right? Of the premises, and they forgot to hand it over to the other staff.
My alarm didn't go off. Set 10.
I'm just like this.
I heard all of those too. I had to make schedules as well when I was working as a senior shift supervisor, and I heard it all. I was trying to make the schedule, and when I had to be a manager on duty, and that was only 2 times a week, it was like, I can't come in for this reason or this reason, and I'm like, but you
they read the wrong rota. They read the wrong rota, and they thought it was
the wrong time or the wrong shift, or they're coming in for the afternoon and they're not going to be in for the morning. And
but you know when that doesn't happen, it never happens on payday. If they have to come and pick up their money
for their check,
it don't happen on check day.
Every time they'd be there for check day. Yeah,
everybody on time. If it's a paper check, everybody on time or early. That day they may leave early because they're gonna get sick in the middle of the day.
They're gonna get sick and have to go to
So don't
their
give
stomach
out
doesn't feel well or something
until like an hour before it's time for everybody to go.
100%.
I agree.
All right, and based on the story of the birth of the famous architect, do you think you could be a successful architect? Do you have that skill? Why or why not? I wish I was artistic, and I wish because actually, I mean, maybe if you had a program, and nowadays you could have contractors, so maybe it actually would probably be kind of cool to design a building. That would be really cool. So
it would be
I
really
always thought an architect was a really cool job. So
I don't think I have. Sorry.
No, you finish.
I don't think I have the artistic or like because you have to have the mathematics to it as well. And I don't think either of those, like, I think I'd love to do it and create a whole building and be able to say, oh, I designed that. But I don't have the, I
No,
don't
that's
have
what
those
your
skills.
team is for. You don't have to do the mathematics. That's what your team is for.
They've actually got, I can't remember the program. They've got this program now that you could do your own designing. So you just put the dimensions of your house out and tell them what are the main walls of your and which are the stud walls, and from there you make your own design, how you want it, how you want your house. It's a really good, I love things like that. But sometimes you need more someone that's trained to do it, and you could give them ideas. I've actually have done 2 projects, 2 houses, renovated it, but not myself, got an architect in there and went and said, this is what I want and this is how I want it. But it all depends on the architect and what they're charging, because there's different ways of dealing with certain things, like plinths and plinths that need to be put on, and some people don't give you those ideas. So to get hold of a good architect it's costly. It's costly.
You know, and I think I could do that. I love to see my hands and my vision start something, and to see that finished product does everything for me. And like I said, I do the business I do is IT. So I'm used to doing fiber and cabling and things like that. So I know a lot about infrastructure. I don't want to do the labor per se, but I'll go in there and get your fiber optics, and I'll get your cabling done and make sure all your internet and all your smart home and stuff is working for you.
It is very difficult.
It
The first
is.
project I did, I was at a loss because I done it to how I wanted it. Then the second project was, you don't do it to how you want it. You have to do it what sells. And what's the cheapest and what's the way. You're not moving in. I done it like if I was moving in.
Now, my daughter did that. She's had both her houses built, but this second one, they had this huge 5-bedroom, 4-bath with a lake in the back and all that. But her husband is a master carpenter. Why have they redone the media room? They have redone the big wall in the kitchen, but they bought it, like you were saying, get what sells. They got it like that, but they've taken carpet up and put down hardwood floors, and they got it cheaper because they got what sells. And then they've been in there doing everything on their own. I'd be like, what y'all doing today? What's the project? You can call them for a week straight and don't get no answer. Oh, we doing this. Okay. I heard the other day, oh, he in there in the media room, a call for the grandbaby. He in the media room watching some racing show. I was like, so the media room is done. What y'all doing next? So I have so many people around me that like to do things with their hands that I think we could, it may fall.
Try it out. Try it. Give it a go.
Yeah, I would love to do. I have something about, I love to feel that gravel and the dirt and the rock and everything from the beginning.
Don't do it
see
just
what
yet, because everything is
after.
rocket high because of what's going on around the world. All the things, all of the cements and all of those things are costing so much right now.
Yes.
People thinking like, you know what, I'm getting the house a lot cheaper, but they're not thinking the material right now because of the cost of just the travel and what's happened around the world is costing so much.
They even got like a regular island, and he redid, because it was so many, they found white oak and everything on the land, and he made the base, and they bought they have like a 6-foot by 3-foot island marble. So they actually just paid for the marble, and they built the stand, the platform for it by themselves. So that kind of thing I love to do, because if you had the builder do it, they would have charged $10,000-$15,000 for it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get into everybody's shows and events before I get into the last question. Uh, as far as me, we have the show No Blues News, Monday, 6 Eastern, positive news and entertainment stories discussed with guests. On the 17th, Saturday of this weekend, not good listeners, Best Friends, Hot Girl Summer auction, and I'm working on a VIP only fives battle royale. I have 2 slots left. That'll be in July, and then after that, I will be working on a top badge one, working on a fave party. So, and then I am an admin for Krabby if you want to be on Not Too Shabby. And Sunny, good listener, Emerald, your events.
What time is your auction Saturday? On the 17th. What time is your auction? I'm putting stuff in the calendar as y'all talk.
It's on
I'm
my
too old to
Instagram.
forget what I'm
I think
putting
I think
stuff
my time
down.
was 8:10. I'll have to double check.
Okay, 8:10. No, I'll put 7:45. I always put like a half an hour early from whatever somebody tells me. Okay. All right, gotcha. Me, I'm doing right now. I normally have something called Taboo Topics on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Is where we discuss the hush hush things. You know, the what happens in the house stays in the house. We've covered things like family secrets. Can a woman raise a boy to be a man? Is there one true religion? Some a little deeper, but I know what we're doing right now, so I'm not going to say that one. Right now, we're the second month in on doing Strength of a Woman. So if any of you all would like to be my guest on that, what we're doing is we're having girl talk. Whatever you do, you get to pick what we're doing for that hour and a half. And we're coloring or we're doing nails or hair, and we're just discussing our journey as a woman, where we get our strength from and how to pass that strength down as queens, how to pass that strength down to the princesses and pull them up. Next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, the following Saturday, I can look down, the 24th, I'm an admin for DJ Swift Hands, and we're doing we're actually doing a reunion of Connect 100. And what Connect 100 is a multi-stream fave party. So everybody come and get your 100 connections, give 100 connections. And we've done 3, then we've done 4. And next week we're going to be in 9 streams at the same time. We will having a reunion. So it'll be 9 parties. So it'll be the same music, the same visual effects, and 9 streams at the same time.
Wow.
My featured show is on Wednesdays. I always forget my stuff. My featured show is on Wednesdays, Reinvented with Sunny at 3 p.m. Eastern, where I take the leftovers and I add new ingredients to it, switch it around, twirl it around, and give you something whole new. Stop us with that takeout, stop us from wasting food, throwing out. Put everything in the freezer, IG me and let me know what you got, and I'll tell you how to cook it up. That's it for right now.
I know I need to come check it out, but yours is on the same time as Krabby's, so I need to go like half and half. So.
Yep. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, but that's all right. All right, who else I need to put on the calendar?
Okay.
Oh, I'm in Man's Pride auction on the 23rd.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Listener, do you want to go or?
Okay, I've got a featured show Sundays. What's Today Again? It's about international and national events that are coming up that week, the following week. So, and I have one guest coming in, and they share their views, opinion about the show. So we've done Ocean Day, we've done World Day, there's so many days that are celebrated in that week. So we pick up a few and we talk about them. So that's my featured show. If anyone wants to take part in it, please message me on IG and be a part of it at 6 p.m. Eastern every Sundays. Also, I'm at the moment helping Hobbitus out, my admin, and she's doing a show that's not started yet, and it's called Share That Memory. So it's you share your memories of something. So she might say your first real food, that the grub that your grandma's cooking. Share that memory. So people can come in
I
and
like
talk about that.
that.
Like
I
every
like
week
that.
there will be a different topic, or each time she does the stream, but it's going to be share that memory. It might be your first memory of your driving experience. It could be what you liked, or your first holiday, first time getting on the plane or
I like
on the
that.
boat. So the list is quite wide. So we're working on that. We've just done the flyers, and I want to be a part. I'm going to be her admin
What day
to
is she
get
doing
that
that?
going. We don't know what day she's going to do. We're thinking on Thursday. We're thinking on Thursday. It's just very new, but I'm quite excited
I
for
am. I love that idea. Let me know.
share
Keep
the
me in
Yeah, I
the
love
memories.
that.
loop.
She's going to be sharing her. So people are going to come and they're going to say, so we've all got a memory to share about certain events. It might be the first sweet we had, the first time we did something wrong. So, but it's in a positive, everything's going to be in a positive way. So
I love
please
that
share your
idea.
memories with publishers.
Love that
I love
idea.
that.
That's wonderful.
So I have a featured show every Thursdays at noon called An Attempt Was Made. It's super fun. You don't have to be good at it. You just have to make an attempt at it. There's drawing, acting, spelling, trivia, and finish the lyrics. And I made it where the drawing and acting, you guys, everybody gets points because all of you guys do it at once. And then the spelling, the trivia, and the finish the lyrics, those are your points to lose and win. So it's strategic. So either get out of your comfort zone and do the drawing and acting and get positive points, or try and do something else and maybe get negative points. But it's super fun. It's every Thursdays at noon. The time might be changing, so keep it posted. It might be same day, but it might be around 6 p.m. I'm working on that and in talks with them right now. I have an auction coming up. It is Luke with an L auction on the same day yours is. It's the 23rd. It's at 6:35, I believe, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also going to be in Moody Andrews' Guess the Gibberish. I believe it's not this week, but I believe it's the next week, around the 20. I can't remember which date. He'll tell me in the comments. But it's every Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I'm not on it, I'm his scorekeeper. But I am a winner, so I will be in the winner's episode. Also, keep an eye out for 11's show. He's a featured show host as well, but I was supposed to be on another winner's episode yesterday, but his account got deleted. It is now back and reactivated. So I think I might be on it next week, but it just got rescheduled. So keep an eye on that on Instagram. It's a super fun show. It's a scavenger hunt in your house where they might ask you to find mayonnaise, but then spray it on your face, or
Oh no! I was about to say I want to do it, then you said spread it on your face. Never mind.
put your foot in the toilet, or get in the shower
Oh
fully
no! I'll
clothed.
watch.
I ain't
Like
taking my phone
Krabby
around my house.
Scorpius. He's gonna be like, wait, let me add some of this stuff to the list and be more creative.
I'll
It is
watch. I'll
super
watch.
fun. I've had to write alien. I've had to draw alien on my head, like 11 on my head with my erasable marker. I've had a mustard mustache. Like, it's a super fun show. I love it. The only thing is if you have colored hair, do not drop an egg on your hair, because it will discolor your hair. I had red hair and it turned it orange and got rid of the red right in the front part, so I had to re-dye my hair. So if anybody ever wants to do a dare and put an egg on their head, do it there and not here.
They stripped your hair color.
Okay, quick story time
It's stripped
before I
the
get
red.
into the last question. Okay, so
Oh, I
this
forgot we had
past,
another question.
this past Saturday, I was on Groovy's game show. Part of it is a scavenger hunt. And I was so excited, but part of it's like you have to get back in a minute. And I had to go run and grab something in the kitchen.
I've been in
Well,
it.
I kind of like got too excited. I ran back in the room, and there's a wall like literally right here. But like I jumped into the chair and got a little too overexcited and smacked my head on the wall. And like the fact that happened in a feature show, it kind of like I was more embarrassed to hurt my pride. I'm like, I did not just do that. you know.
I've embarrassed myself multiple times on different featured shows. Do not worry yourself. Emoji J has literally 5 videos of me like running in place and on Mojo's show when he used to have one. You used to have to do something funny. I've been on it 4 times and there's videos of me on there. So don't worry about
No.
So you're not the only one. Okay.
Not the only one.
Yeah. But the last question is, if dinosaurs were alive, would you travel to visit and see them? Why or why not? I totally would try. I think that'd be really cool because, like, I guess it kind of be the same experience of like the zoo. You know, they'd kind of be in some kind of like wildlife refuge like that. But I would definitely travel and go see all the dinosaurs.
I would.
I would, yes.
Yeah, and I want one as well.
I would train
Right?
one, yeah. Like it would be my friend. Like it would be.
No, I don't want one. I just come up your house and visit.
The
Pet dinosaurs like Dino on the Flintstones.
It has to be a cute one, yes.
Keep it as baby size. Like how they have the miniature dogs, mini dinos.
I've raised too many children with dogs, snakes, rabbits, iguanas. No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to bring them home.
Right. All right, but thank you everybody for being here tonight. This is No Blues News. I am Miss Tawny, Monday 6 Eastern. Share positive news and entertainment stories and discuss with guests. Our guests tonight were Sunny, Good Listener, and Emerald. We have our top 3, Andrew, Kitty, and Nemo. I'm going to go ahead and have everybody jump out of the box.
Can I say one more thing before I
yeah,
go?
go ahead. Yeah.
I so forget. My daughter sent me this thing, I think Tuesday last week. It's for Chef Carla. Y'all might know her. She was one on Top Chef. They have this competition called Favorite Chef. And I applied Tuesday and I got accepted into it Wednesday. Voting starts today. I didn't take it seriously, so I didn't even check my email. And Friday I checked my email and they had accepted my submission. So I am in Favorite Chef competition. It's a $25,000 cash prize. It's a 2-page spread, and the magazine is teaching classes with some master chefs. So if you all could go, you won't even have to fave me on here, but if you go to my profile and scroll down to my Instagram, the link is in my bio. You can do 1 free vote a day. The vote is open until the 22nd, and I have been running second place all day. So I'm glad about that. But if y'all can just slide down in my DMs and get that link.
Is that the one that you DM'd to me? Is that the one I got? Okay,
yes.
all right.
I was
Okay.
sending so many things yesterday. I was like, oh my God, I didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
I didn't think I would make it with that later entry, you know, and it is like, oh, wait a minute.
I got you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get out the box. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tawny. It was a wonderful show.
It was
so much.
fun. Good luck.
Thank you. And what happened?
Nothing. Good show, y'all.
See, I like when it goes. It's actually better when it goes over than when you like run short. Because then when I see the time and when I go short, I'm like, oh, you know. So.
Well, nothing. That's why I kept reminding you every 15 minutes. It's a promo.
Well, that's the tricky part. Like, I don't want to
In
interrupt
between
anybody,
each
so
topic,
you know.
do your promo. When you do your in between each topic, a promo.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be every 10, 15 minutes, but at least if between every segment, then that's cool. Movie prefers this. Armin, stop talking about yourself like that, bro. But yeah, good show.
Thank you.
Guys, Miss Tawny is eventually gonna be on my new show.
Yeah, August
Name that
something.
letter. Well, no, that's gibberish. I'm talking about Name That Letter.
I thought I was already on
My
that
newer
one.
show.
No, I was on
Oh
that
yeah, you was on it last week.
Yeah.
How did you like it? Tell everybody how you
I
liked
did
it.
like it. Yes, Andrew does have a new game show he's doing on Tuesdays, right? It's not today, it's Tuesday, right?
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow
Yeah,
at 10.
Yeah, name that letter. Yeah, because it was me and Winda and NorCal. Yeah.